Exhausted. Here
we go. Well, welcome. We are back here at the 2023 NEAF and Space Expo, and here in Suffern, New York. And I've got Dr. Franck Marchis here, founder of Unistellar, SETI astronomer, planetary astronomer as well. And, certainly a champion of citizen science. And we're glad to have you here in our booth. You gave a great talk, I heard. I wasn't able to see it because we were working here.
Yeah, everybody's busy.
What's your impression of NEAF?
But thank you first for having me here. Yeah, NEAF, it's the first time I come to NEAF. I've heard about it since I started astronomy, in fact. So, yeah, it's a very interesting show. I can see multiple generations of technology here. Astronomy that I used to see in the past, all the way to very modern astronomy and new products.
Sure. Oh, yeah. I think there must be over 100 different suppliers here. We've got in the Explore Scientific booth, we have all the Unistellar products here right now. But you came here to talk about citizen science. And, I think that we talked before. You were on our Global Star Party, and I was really blown away by the results that citizen scientists are getting with unistellar telescopes. And the more I think about it, the more I get excited I get about this, because literally you can come in as a true beginner, maybe never owned a telescope before in your life, and start to do citizen science.
Start to do that, citizen science, and start doing observations that will be used by professional astronomers, and then be part of the process of analyzing the data, learning how to do it, and then go all the way to the publication of the paper.
Right. And I talked earlier with another person yesterday about doing citizen science, and it's really, I think it's really empowering, because a lot of people maybe feel like they really haven't made their mark on life, in their lives, and to have your name in a real science paper, is making a difference, so.
It's also important that when you buy a telescope, you use the telescope for fun.
Sure.
You learn how to look at galaxies, nebulae, and so on, but then this is kind of the step 2, so it's slightly more advanced. And we have more than 20% of our users on our network.
Wow.
That already signed
and maybe
up.
Growing all the time.
Growing, yes.
Wow.
And it's important for them, because when they take the telescope out, they still continue to enjoy observing the galaxies, nebulae, and so on, but then they start also looking and learning about astronomy. And the key here is that we're trying to make sure that every day there is something new to do, first of all, and it's something useful for the scientific community. So we connect with the scientific community to know what's going on right now. So for instance, 2 days ago, JUICE was launched with an Ariane 5 rocket, which is the ESA mission, right? And we got a notification from people at ESA asking for position of this rocket and the mission.
Okay, so what was that like? You maybe you don't even know which way to aim the telescope for this. How does it work with the astronomer?
So we have a kind of collaboration effort with JPL.
Okay.
We use the ephemeris. So we use the ephemeris of JPL. We simplify it with an interface that it's very easy for people. You just have to enter the address and then click, and it generates the ephemeris, but not in a way that all these numbers that most people don't understand.
Right. That might seem pretty complicated to do.
We generate a deep link. So you click on that, and this opens the app of Unistellar, and the telescope moves directly to the location calculated by the ephemeris.
That's totally cool. So you guys, I know that you did the DART mission. When you were on, you were talking about that there was some discovery that the interior of the asteroid was red.
Yeah.
So is that still being studied now? It's still a mystery.
It's still a mystery, and in fact, it has been confirmed by the Lycia observations from the CubeSat.
Okay,
that's
so
a good
this
news.
wasn't some aberration
Not
from
aberration from the
oh.
Unistellar network.
Ah.
It's true. It's
Wow.
been observed by also other telescope at ESO.
Okay.
The paper had just been published.
That's totally exciting,
Yeah.
I think.
We still don't know
Really?
what this reddening is about.
Right, yeah. So, and most asteroids, I think, are really dark, right? They're like asphalt dark.
Well, we have a bias. We think they're dark because we see them dark, but in fact it's because most of them are getting dark because they're being in space for such a large amount of time that the interaction with the solar wind, the radiation, darken the surface. There's different process. It's a bit more complicated, of course, because many of the content of ice and rocks and etc. But it's now clear that there is a thin layers on the top of every asteroid.
It's just like
dark.
dust from going through the solar system,
exactly.
Right?
And then inside, the asteroid will be different. And this is important for multiple reasons. One obvious one is that if you want to know what the composition of an asteroid is about, if you want to mine an asteroid in the future,
what is it?
What is it? You need to be able to dig. How deep you have to dig to be able to find the right composition. So we're not only answering about planetary defense program, we're also preparing for future exploration of asteroids. And hopefully using one day mining as a resources for humanity.
Yeah, if we put people on the moon or on Mars, it seems like it would make more sense to actually mine asteroids that are nearby instead of going all the way back to Earth, using these resources and coming back. So, let's go back to the early beginnings of Unistellar. You're one of the founders of the company, or maybe the founder.
No, one of the founders.
One of, okay. All right. So what is the story of Unistellar?
The story of Unistellar starting in 2015 with Laurent Marchis, Arnaud Malvache, Antonin Borot. Three of them, they're French. And they're located in the area of Marseille. And they knew each other for quite a long time. Arnaud and Antonin.
Were they amateur astronomers? Or?
Arnaud is an amateur astronomer.
Okay.
Antonin and Arnaud did a PhD together in the lab.
Okay.
And Laurent is a friend of Arnaud for a very long time, high school.
Okay.
And Arnaud had this issue with astronomy. He's an amateur astronomer, he used telescopes, and he was very upset about the fact that it was difficult to use telescopes, to set them up, to get them ready to observe. So he started thinking about the technology to simplify this process. And they brainstormed, etc. In 2017, they have some kind of prototypes. And they presented it at CES. And I came at CES for totally different reasons.
It's a fast development time, I think.
Fast, And they and I met them and we talked about the telescope, what they want to do. And I did the idea of having a network like telescopes working together, the citizen science, the community around it. Because that's something we used to do at SETI as well. You know, SETI at home was basically one of the first citizen science projects. So we joined the company as a co-founder. And we decided, this was in January 2017. And in October 2017, we did a Kickstarter.
Right. That was very successful.
That was extremely successful.
Right.
Way more than we anticipated. So we have to create a real company. Hire people, engineers, and so on. You know, it's always easy to build something in your backyard or in your garage. But it's more difficult to mass produce and the real company delivered its first EV scope in 2019. Our partner Altio they have production chain in China, and we shipped the first telescope, as I mentioned, in 2019. And now we're growing the network with more distributors like you, retailers. Thank you very much. In every part in the world, we have now telescopes on every continent but Antarctica, and I'm working on getting one on Antarctica.
Right. I would say that probably in this category, there were amateur astronomers that cobbled together like EAA telescopes, but kind of had to know what you're doing, and the telescopes you still had to set up in a traditional way, and all the complexity of all this stuff.
Often compared to aeromodelism. You probably remember, like me, those people who were used to build the airplanes and, and drone themselves, and they were meetings, and you could meet them sometimes. And they were like soldering things and learning how to do stuff, etc. And then came company like DJI and others, and Parrots.
Yeah, you can buy. I have a DJI, right?
They created those drones which are easy to use.
Yep.
And people do not focus on building them, but focus on using them and doing some admirable things.
Right.
And the number of stuff that do with drones now extraordinary. So we're basically doing the same. Right. We did not invent like rocket science. We invented an integrated telescope, which is easy to use for people, connected with an app. So when you get it, in 5 minutes, you should be able to observe.
Right, and that's in fact was my daughter's experience. You know, I have 5 kids, okay, but one of them had never done astronomy before.
How is that possible?
So I don't know how that's possible. But anyway, so I set the telescope up in our yard, and I said, okay, here's the app, here's the telescope. Let me know if you can make it work. Okay, no instruction. Okay, here you go. Turn it on. Within about 15 minutes, because she had to learn how to navigate the app and everything, she had figured it all out, and she had made her first image, which was of the Andromeda Galaxy. And she was really blown away by that. So
that was a good test.
It was a good test. It was a good test. So that was certain. I mean, if you're at all interested in getting into astronomy, you want to do astrophotography, you think you might want to get into science, look no further than Unistellar for this kind of thing. Dr. Franck Marchis leads a whole science team that's behind, taking the data, crunching that data, and getting you involved in a real citizen science project. So, and how many science projects do you have right now?
Right now we have 5 of them.
Okay.
From comets, planetary defense, asteroid occultation, transiting exoplanet, and cosmic cataclysms.
Wow.
And those are supernovae that appear in the sky. This is the most recent one. We started in December. And that's the thing too. It's an electronic digital smart telescope. So every 2 months we update the software. We improve the image quality. We add new citizen science, new features. So it's a telescope that evolves with time.
Right. And not only they are updating software, but they are so responsive to almost any detail about Unistellar, which is refreshing, I think, in the industry. And, but to stay on that leading edge, really the bleeding edge of what amateur astronomy can be, you need a company like Unistellar doing it. So we're real proud to be associated with you guys. And I know that you're about to take off here, but it was a pleasure to have you on. And thank you for being part of Global Star Party. And I hope to do more programs about citizen science.
I will invite some member of my team to talk about
that. Would be awesome. That would be cool. All right. Thank you
very much.
Thank you. Okay, so we're here live from the 2023 NEAF Space Expo, and here in Suffern, New York. The show's still going on. It's very busy here. You want to see some exciting things, hear some great talks, come on down to NEAF. There's still time. If not, certainly look at all the specials that we have going on and take a special look at those Unistellar telescopes. All right, so we'll be back with more talks. Thanks for watching.